Before we move off box office, I wanted to say, so Disney made 10 billion.
Yeah.
I looked at all the movies they made.
Yeah.
And out of all the movies, I think there's only one misstep they had this year.
Hang on, let me see if I can guess what it is. Dumbo.
Yeah, it's Dumbo.
Gentlemen, and welcome to episode 29 of Straight to Series. My name is Connor.
I'm Ian.
And today, we're just going to do our usual thing, and subscribe. And
please do.
Check us out on
Instagram, YouTube,
Twitter,
Facebook.
All those good stuff. Apologies for missing out last week. Half of us was down with illness, mainly this half.
Mainly his bells.
Yeah, my bells. It was not pretty.
If he has to run out. That's why.
That's why. Yeah. If for some reason
emergency.
If for some reason there's a weird cut, that's what it was for. But
you wouldn't dare.
You wouldn't dare. No, I'm feeling good enough, and it's worked out kind of nicely because our 30th episode, we're going to be able to talk about the final Star Wars movie ever.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. So, but that's next week. So we're going to focus on this week, when we've 2 weeks of news.
Yeah,
that we have to get into. Loads of news.
Loads of trailers.
Lots of trailers. I don't know if we'll get through them all.
Yeah,
but
we'll try.
We'll do our best.
Steamroll them.
First things first, we're going to get into box office.
Box office. We are 1 weekend away from Frozen making $1 billion.
Oh my goodness.
I'm glad that I was right. Because I was too confident last time.
Yeah.
I remember you were like, oh really? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. You know, you second guess when someone's like, really? Because you asked me, will it make $1 billion? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no bods, man. It will. It will.
Okay, good.
It's 70 million away. So we're 1 weekend away from Frozen 2.
It's so weird.
The $1 billion mark.
A movie making $1 billion that, I'm not interested at all.
I know, it's strange, isn't it? Yeah. But $1 billion isn't $1 billion anymore.
No,
you know what
true.
I mean? Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I remember when there was 15 movies that ever made $1 billion. Then it surely has to be over 40.
Yeah.
Sure, this year alone. Let's see this year alone how many films made $1 billion.
By the way, did you start a timer?
No. That makes way too much sense.
I just like knowing how long we've gone for. Yeah, man. How many movies have made $1 billion?
Right, we got 7
movies this year have made $1 billion.
Frozen's making $1 billion. So it's going to be 8.
And then Star Wars. Do you think Star Wars will make $1 billion before the end of the year? No way.
No, it won't.
It has 11 days to make $1 billion.
But here's the thing. That will still be classed as 2019.
Oh, yeah.
Billion. Same with Aquaman. Aquaman came out in December. It didn't cross the $1 billion line till probably mid-January of this year.
Yeah.
And it's still, it goes down as 2018 billion,
gotcha,
you know?
Gotcha.
So, yeah, we're going to have at least, 9.
9
films this year.
That's insane.
2019 is going to have 9 films to make $1 billion.
So next year has to be 10 then.
Has to be 10.
Has to be 10.
And speaking of 10,
yeah,
Disney just passed 10 billion worldwide.
Totally.
That is scary.
That's insane. And
it just beat its own record, which was last year. I don't even know how much it was.
And again, Frozen's still out and Rise of Skywalker is coming out. So
that is scary.
Have you seen, I'm just looking at this and it reminded me of an article I saw this week. Aladdin made $1 billion. Have you seen the lead actor has come out and said that he's struggling to get cast?
He hasn't had a single audition since Aladdin came out.
Yeah, I feel like...
Now, he's in a few things, though.
Yeah.
So he just hasn't got the rub from that $1 billion.
Is it me where he's like, oh, I haven't got it? I'm like, woe is you.
Yeah, I know, I understand what you're saying.
I'm like,
but see, the thing is, it with Hollywood and all, it just instantly becomes racial.
Yeah,
it just is.
Yeah.
All the articles I seen was kind of about how he's of Indian descent.
Yeah,
so that's why he's not getting a role.
Oh, that's just not true.
But this was the weird thing. I read that article, and then at the end, it listed all the things that he has coming out. So I don't know if they were in the pipeline while Aladdin was getting made, but I would assume some of those roles may have come while he was making Aladdin just because he's in Aladdin. Well, you know what I mean?
What I saw
before it even made money. Yeah. But they were just like, oh, this guy is going to be a star, so...
I think it was a BuzzFeed article or an Uproxx or maybe Collider, I don't know, some news outlet, but it was framed by the white guy in the movie is getting his own spin-off thing on Disney+. Plus. But I was like, but he's already an established actor. He's a popular comedic actor.
I will say, his role was nonsensical and I didn't really care for it, but...
was entertaining, I heard.
I didn't really care for the movie that much anyway. So
totally.
It is a bit weird that he's getting a spin-off.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel necessary at all. Like,
No.
he's barely in the movie.
Yeah.
But he's a fun actor and he's very funny. So
I think I like that guy in everything he's been in.
I'm being naive.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's not getting that spin-off because he's white.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that. I just think they're like, oh, he's the only character that we could do. Like, if they do a spin-off, it has nothing to do with the mythology of Aladdin.
No.
You know what? Like, they can just do whatever the fuck they want with him.
Or maybe it's like, you know when The Rock works with someone?
Because they're most likely going to do it in Aladdin too.
Yeah, of course. Because it made $1 billion.
So this is not going to, it's not going to interrupt anything.
No.
Sorry, I just interrupted you there.
No, but I was just thinking, like, you know when The Rock is like, oh, I liked working with that guy. They're like, okay, he can direct Black Adam then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe Guy Ritchie or whoever's working on the spinoff was like, actually really like working with that guy, and we decided we'd do something else together. And
Sure.
it happened. Maybe that's what happened.
I thought you hit the nail on the head saying, like, he's somewhat bankable. Like, he's an actor that's already established.
Yeah.
But I don't know. For me, I think that his role, you can just do a spin-off and it won't affect anything to do with Aladdin and future stories. He's that kind of character where if you give Jasmine a spin-off, well, that has to feed into the movie. If you give Aladdin a spin-off, you give Jafar a spin-off, all that has to feed back into the movie.
It kind of makes me think of, that Hail to the King Marvel one-shot with Ben Kingsley in prison. That's why along those lines of that is what I was thinking.
Sam Rockwell and Ben Kingsley because those characters haven't really shown up.
Yeah, but
since their movies.
They're pretty hilarious. Like, I'd love to see Sam Rockwell again. I've said it so many times.
Justin Hammer, he was fantastic.
He'd be great.
He's a great actor. I love him.
I'd love if in another Iron Man movie, like, because Iron Man's dead now, Justin Hammer is trying to get a resurgence.
Yeah. I want to be the man again. Like,
I want to be the man again.
I want to be the #1 arms dealer.
Oh, it'd be great. But so I saw that article and I thought it was interesting.
I thought it was interesting too.
But isn't Jasmine? She's getting roles, isn't she?
I don't know.
But she's not Indian. Isn't that the thing?
Oh, that was the thing. Yeah, she was from two different. I think her family was from 2 different countries. One was like an African.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I want to say Cambodia or something like that. And then her father was from somewhere else. Or it was something like that. But it was 2 races that were nowhere near Indian, and that's why people were angry.
Man,
I don't know.
It's weird. I don't think we're qualified to talk about it.
And then the American white guy gets a spin-off.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
How's Will Smith doing? Is he okay after that?
Here's a fun fact about Joker.
Yeah.
I think it's amusing. I find it amusing that Joker has just surpassed Aladdin.
Yeah.
So that means that Joaquin Phoenix's biggest movie ever, the guy who's known for doing independent movies, is bigger than Will Smith's biggest movie ever.
Wow.
Isn't that fun?
That's super weird.
Because Will Smith is a blockbuster actor.
Yeah.
It really is.
So he should be
miles above Joaquin Phoenix. Like, Joaquin Phoenix, I think Gladiator is probably his other big movie.
Gotta be, right?
Yeah. I can't see him doing anything else.
I don't even know. That movie...
He's such an indie actor. Like, that's all he really does. He's known for that.
That movie, He Won't Get Far on Foot, is on Netflix.
Yeah. Oh, it's on
Amazon Prime, and I've been meaning to watch it. And
I've been meaning to watch that too.
The other one where has a full beard.
That's on Netflix now.
Yeah.
You Were Never Really Here?
You Were Never Really Here.
That's a cool movie.
I've heard it's very cool.
It's weird. It's a strange one.
I've heard it's strange and dark. And
it's very shot oddly.
Yeah, I've been meaning to watch the 2 of them.
Yeah, it literally 2 very independent movies with tiny budgets, not a big rollout theatrically, and then I just find it amusing that his biggest movie is bigger than Will Smith's biggest movie ever. Because Will Smith is Mr. Blockbuster. Like, Will Smith's done Suicide Squad. He did Aladdin. He did Bad Boys. He did Independence Day. He did even movies like Hancock. That was a big seller. Yeah. And I Am Legend. iRobot. So, like, he's literally a blockbuster actor. And yet, Joaquin Phoenix's biggest movie is bigger than Will Smith's.
Crazy.
I find that amusing.
How good is iRobot? I haven't watched it in years, but I remember loving it as a kid.
I loved it as a kid. Yeah. I'm afraid to rewatch it. I think it's one of those movies where I'm like, why is he wearing Converse and has his hat sideways? He's cool and down with the kids.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's something about that movie I just really like.
I'm afraid it's going to be really on the nose of the whole thing of like, my grandfather lost his job because of robots. And
that's not what happens though, right?
It's something, I thought that, like...
He loses his arm.
Yeah, he doesn't lose his arm, but I'm nearly sure he talks about like his father who was a carpenter at one stage.
Oh, maybe.
I'm just afraid it won't be as nuanced as when I was younger and watched it. And
well, no, he doesn't like it because the robot who saved him from the car. Spoilers for iRobot, by the way.
Come on.
The robot punches the window, and he was in a car wreck, and there's a little girl in the other one.
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, save the girl, save the girl."
But there was like more of a higher chance that the robot could save him, so he like did that calculation in his head, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's something like the robot's algorithm was like, I can save you, but I can't save the girl.
I might not be able to save her, but I can definitely save you.
Yeah, I love that. I actually don't know, for some reason I think that's, maybe it's because I watched it as a kid, but I always feel like that's really good.
I have the pictures of him surfing on a door while like this house gets demolished by robots.
The house demolishing monster.
That's why I'm thinking maybe it's not great while he's holding a cat.
Yeah. I remember that scene too. Do you know who's the voice of the main robot in that? Sonny.
No.
He's having a huge resurgence. Alan Tudyk.
No way.
Alan Tudyk is Sonny. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
He's Joker now in
Harley Quinn.
The Harley Quinn.
I've been watching
series.
clips, and he sounds really good.
It's supposed to be really good.
Yeah. He's doing kind of Mark Hamill-esque.
Okay.
But he's definitely got his own spin on it. So
it's annoying because I just seen the first episode of that is on YouTube.
Oh.
But it's not for Irish people or anyone outside of America.
Gotcha.
So we can't get DC Universe, and we can't even watch their YouTube stuff. You know, it's
there's
just
clips.
annoying.
There's loads of clips, and you can kind of.
But the full episode is up for Americans to watch. Obviously, as a hook, you know.
Yeah, I watched a few clips, and it actually looks funny. But again, like I've said before, I've never really cared about Harley Quinn as a character.
Yeah.
I mean, she's fine, but like, yeah. But this seems interesting. It seems like comedic and funny. I guess, yeah. So I definitely give it a watch, and I like the voice talent behind it as well, like all the different. voices.
It seems like they've got great voices.
Yeah.
I just, before we move off box office, I wanted to say, so Disney made 10 billion.
Yeah.
I looked at all the movies they made.
Yeah.
And out of all the movies, I think there's only one misstep they had this year.
Hang on, let me see if I can guess what it is. Dumbo.
Yeah, it's Dumbo. That's the only movie. Like Maleficent, you could kind of argue its case because it didn't do that well.
Yeah.
But Dumbo is the only movie of their 8 big movies. So we got Avengers Endgame it's the biggest movie in the world.
Made all the money in the world.
Frozen's about to make $1 billion. Aladdin made $1 billion. Toy Story 4 made $1 billion. The Lion King made $1 billion. Captain Marvel made $1 billion. So then it's Maleficent that only made around, I think, nearly 500 million.
What about Spider-Man?
It's Sony.
It's Sony. Oh yeah,
Sony. I thought of that, and then I was like, wait, no, they only get like a small percentage of that.
I was looking here, and I was like, 3 Marvel movies came out this. Oh yeah,
and it did make big money.
Yeah,
like it made more than Captain Marvel, just barely more than Captain Marvel.
Have you seen the comparison of Tom Holland's butt to Brie Larson's butt?
No.
Tom Holland has a nicer shaped butt than Brie Larson in some sense.
I had a feeling you were going there.
People are because people fucking hate Captain Marvel so much. Yeah. They're like, I don't know, it's so stupid.
Yeah. I don't want to watch that now.
Oh, it's not.
I'm afraid.
It's just a photo. It's something like you're scrolling through Reddit and you see this and you're like, Tom Holland is a nicer butt than Brie Larson, and you're like, man, it's 3 a.m. in the morning and I'm awake. What am I doing? And then I just.
And now, shit, what am I doing?
What am I doing? Oh, what's happening now? I'm getting feelings for Tom Holland. Man, all the Avengers males have great butts.
Well, we know that Tom Holland, to get him loose, all he needs is 3 points.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, get him drunk.
Get him ringing up.
That's a cheap night out.
Get him ringing up Disney execs. Yeah. Tell him what to do.
3 pints and he's drunk.
Yeah, he's fucking, he's his
not
own
that
boss.
young. He's in like his nearly mid-20s.
I love the idea of him. Hey, listen. You guys sort out with Sony.
He's talking to Bob Iger.
Yeah.
The big wig of big wigs.
Bobby I, what's up?
Bobby I, what's going on?
Bobby Igor, hey, how's it going?
Crying down the phone then.
Yeah, that's what if I was famous and attractive and a superhero, I'd definitely be drunk calling people I should not be. I'd be like John Boyega, leaving scripts around the place to be found.
Oh, totally. And I'd be ringing other actors. I'd be ringing actors trying to get other people's numbers. Like I'd be ringing Robert Downey Jr. going, "Hey, you worked with Jake Gyllenhaal on, what was the movie? Your dad's favorite movie?
Oh, Zodiac.
Oh, you worked with him on that. Can you get me his number?
Can you get me his number? And then can Jake Gyllenhaal get me Ryan Reynolds' number?
Yeah.
And then can someone get me Tom Cruise?
And I'm definitely Snapchatting all the Hollywood babes.
Yeah, totally.
They'd hate me. I'd be
Yeah, absolutely.
Mini Weinstein to be calling me.
Yeah, man, that would. what a time we'd have. Eh? What a time we'd have. Anyway, it'll come down the line.
I'd be a bad man.
We'll be rich and famous sometime.
Yeah.
All right, so we should move on to reviews because we want to talk, because it's been 2 weeks again.
Yes.
So much to do. We want to talk about The Irishman.
Dying to talk about it.
Because last week we had the check-in where I was like, not last week.
You were like an hour and 45 minutes or something into it.
45 minutes. Now I've watched it 7 hours.
Yeah, you've double dipped.
I've watched it twice, yeah.
And I intend to watch it a second time.
Yeah, and we were going to do a Scorsese episode, so we ended up watching some Scorsese films. I watched Casino, Raging Bull, and Mean Streets.
Oh, you watched a good few.
Yeah.
I just watched Mean Streets.
Yeah.
But I'd never seen Mean Streets before. So
I'd never seen those 3. And then, funny enough, the other day when I was like, had nothing to do, I started watching Goodfellas again.
I was meaning to watch it because it's on Netflix here. I was like, I want to watch it. I want to watch Goodfellas.
I was starting to watch it, and I was like, man, this movie, non-stop, it's so good.
So good. I was so happy watching Mean Streets because I'd never seen it before. And it's one of those movies where I'm like, I will watch that. I will watch that. And then when you watch it as well, it's great to see that Harvey Keitel and Robert De Niro are in it.
Yeah.
Who are in The Irishman.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's 73
years?
is when... No.
Oh.
Scorsese's like 90. No, I think it was 1973 when Mean Streets came out. I'll just check. So to think... all those years later, like
they're
over 40
working.
years later,
yeah,
and they're working together. Like, I love that.
Harvey Keitel used to be Scorsese's muse, and now it's De Niro.
People
said it was DiCaprio. Yeah, I was surprised he wasn't in The Irishman, but then again, he doesn't fit in with the.
There's good news there, though.
Oh, is there?
Scorsese's next film.
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro.
Oh, excellent.
The Killing of a Wildflower, I think it's called. It's like the killing of a wildflower, the birth of the FBI or something like that. It's called. Where I think Leonardo DiCaprio is going to play a killer.
Oh, excellent.
I'll look it up. I just want to see when Mean Streets came out. Is it 73? Please be 73.
Yeah.
1973.
Excellent work.
On a 500,000 budget. Huh, interesting. Yeah. And it made 3 million.
Wow, that's good for the time.
Yeah. What was I saying there?
We were talking about playing a killer. Leonardo playing a killer.
I'm just going to check. I just want to know the official name of that.
Then again, how many muses can Leonardo DiCaprio's multiple people's muses? Like now he's in Quentin Tarantino loves him as well.
They're the Killers of the Wildflower Moon.
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Sorry,
Oh wait, that's the book. Sorry.
No, you're right.
Oh, okay.
Killers of the Flower Moon.
He's probably the Osage murderer then, or something.
Yeah.
Or something. And the birth of the FBI. Oh, that'll be really interesting.
He's filming in March 2020, so next year.
Cool.
And it's rumored that Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro are going to be in it. Leonardo DiCaprio, though, I think he's the one who owns the rights to this book.
Cool.
He brought it to Scorsese and was like, let's make this.
Awesome.
So that's really good.
I love hearing stuff like that.
I'd love to see both of them together.
Yeah, me too.
Be great.
Yeah. Hearing DiCaprio talk about anything is great. I think, I don't know if I plugged it on the show, but on the show, Jesus Christ, on our podcast, but we were talking.
It's a podcast show.
It's a show, yeah. I've just never said it before, and I kind of like how it sounds. But I watched the video of him and Quentin Tarantino breaking down his character from.
Oh, you told me about this.
Have you watched it?
No,
It's so
you
good.
really sold me on it.
It's so good, so good. Quentin Tarantino is like his brain is insane, and DiCaprio is like trying to kind of feeding him some stuff and kind of just he gets his character. But Quentin Tarantino knows every movie Leonardo DiCaprio has been in, like where he grew up, where he went to school, what type of person he is.
You were telling me is like undiagnosed bipolar.
Yeah,
is what they came up with.
Yeah, so there was this old actor that Quentin Tarantino likes from like the 1960s or something.
Right.
And he's like, oh yeah, I love this guy, and he was biggest star in the world, and he committed suicide. And they found out years later that he was undiagnosed bipolar, and that's like that wouldn't have been recognized in the 60s. And when DiCaprio was figuring out the character, this really resonated with him. So he plays his character in
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time as an undiagnosed bipolar person.
That's brilliant. I'm just looking up. I want to know the name of the character again.
Oh,
Rick Dalton.
Rick
That's
Dalton.
It. Dalton was in my head, but I couldn't remember the first name.
Man,
so Rick Dalton. They're saying he's undiagnosed bipolar, which is great because they don't actually say that in the movie at all. But you instantly see it. Once I heard that, when you told me that story, I was like, Oh fuck! I so see it, especially when he has his breakdown in his trailer.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes of that whole movie.
But it's
sorry, another movie. This is a review, by the way, for The Irishman.
I know, fuck it.
But that's another movie, like The Irishman.
Yeah.
You're watching it. Have you watched it yet?
Yeah. I've
Once
seen
Upon
it
a Time in
Loved
Hollywood.
Loved it.
Do you get that feeling where you're like, oh, I'm watching a classic scene now. I'm watching a classic scene.
Totally.
There's so many times where you get that.
And you're just loving everything that's happening.
Everything.
But another thing like that, of like a character having this backstory you wouldn't know, is in Inglourious Basterds, Brad Pitt has lynching scars on his neck. And it's supposedly because he's from the deep south, he's a Texan, and he married a black woman, and then he has the lynching scars from that because they obviously tried to kill him.
Never heard of this.
Those are those scars that are around his neck.
That's amazing.
So, you know, when he's talking...
So there's like a backstory that doesn't even exist, but obviously Brad Pitt is aware of this.
Like, you see the scars, they're visible in the movie, and he never addressed, never talked about it.
Yeah, they're never explored. I mean, it does exist, but we just don't know about it.
They're never explored, but it gives so much backstory to like his character, why he hates Nazis and the prejudice and all that stuff.
That's brilliant.
And it's like I just love how Quentin Tarantino does that in the movies.
I think that's my favorite Tarantino movie.
Inglourious Basterds.
Dry Glazer.
Yeah. Oh,
how does he do it?
It's dry. That's it. He does it like this, and it's meant to be like this. Yeah.
Love that. Michael Fassbender's like first movie that I ever seen him in.
Oh yeah, he's great. Have you ever seen? Is it Frank?
I've seen that. It's Frank.
I love it.
Yeah.
Donald
That's
Gleeson.
really cool. I seen that in the cinema. I feel like I was like the only person in Ireland who's seen that.
Yeah, I saw it in the cinema too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I really liked it.
It was desolate when I went to see it. Me and my mate went
too.
to see it, and like, there was no one in the cinema.
Myself and my friend who likes movies went, and it was just we both enjoyed it. But I was like, I don't think I understood everything in it, but I really enjoyed it. You know?
Yeah, it's fun.
I love the scene in Inglourious Basterds though with the bear Jew, because obviously that's a great scene. But then when he I think they give the Nazi general guy a really good moment where he's like, he points at the medal. He's like, "You get that for killing Jews?" And he's like, "Bravery." And
that's a famous director.
Yeah.
What's his name? He's the guy who directed Hostel.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. He was meant to be playing your man's role, Christoph Waltz's role.
Really?
And then Christoph Waltz took the
Eli
part.
Roth.
Eli Roth, yeah. He was meant to be playing Christoph Waltz's role. And then, oh no, not him, not Eli Roth. Sorry,
but he's the bear Jew.
He's the bear Jew. Yeah, he's the bear Jew. But the German guy, was meant to be playing Christoph Waltz's role, and Quentin Tarantino wrote a whole new scene where he was like, he gave him more to do because he really liked the actor and he wanted to put him in some way.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great scene. Where where he's like, "You get that for killing Nazis." He's like, "Bravery." All right, let's review The Irishman.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so good.
It is.
It's so good.
It is.
It's scary that Martin Scorsese is 76.
Yeah.
And he's making that sort of quality movie.
What's scarier is when you hear the behind the scenes set talks and everyone's like, "Yeah, man, like Pacino, Pesci, De Niro, Scorsese, all these older actors have more energy than the younger actors."
I know.
Jesse Plemons was Netflix has put out so much supplemental material for this movie.
It's brilliant. They're diving into the whole special features.
Yeah, it's
thing,
great.
which is brilliant. It's about time as well because there's so many good movies like Roma as well.
Yeah,
they did a little bit for that.
Yeah,
they should have done more.
But I'm thoroughly enjoying watching like these 3-minute clips of just all the actors talking about it. And Jesse Plemons is like, "Yeah, those old guys were putting me to shame with how much energy and
you've watched The Conversation."
Yeah.
It's something like The Irishman in Conversation. It's like, just the old guys just sitting around in a booth just talking. It's so natural as well. And they talk about everything.
Yeah.
Even though it's only 20 minutes long, but it's fantastic.
They get into everything, and I love it. I think
Joe Pesci talking about how many cameras
was
on set, and he's like, I don't know where to look because there's something like 7 cameras. It's a lot to do with the motion capture.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did they have like invisible like dots on their face or some shit like that? I'm not sure how they did it.
I don't know, but I think it's so they would have every angle, so when they were touching it up, it didn't look,
because they didn't want markers. They didn't want visible markers to take away from the performance.
Yeah.
But I like Joe Pesci talks about how he didn't know where to look at the times because there's like 7 cameras, a big 7 camera rig. You know, I love that.
It's great, and it's a movie of stellar performances. Like we've already said, Joe Pesci and Al Pacino. I think they steal every scene they're in.
We need to talk about how Joe Pesci wasn't in anything for like 20 years.
Yeah.
And he is so good in this.
And he's not being Joe Pesci in it. which is great.
That's the thing. He's not that little bull that he always is. Funny how.
Yeah, he's just this quiet, subdued, and like
he's quietly he's reserved.
Yeah,
but like there's violence in his eyes at the same time. You're like, don't mess with him.
Yeah.
Even though he may not raise his voice, like just don't mess with him.
You respect him, and
you'll die if you fuck with him.
You respect him, and you're like, he's fair. You know, In a mob world, you're looking at him, and he's reasonable and fair, which is so weird to say.
I know what you mean though. And he's not like the ruthless gangster that's just going to kill you for looking at him sideways.
And you kind of like him as well.
Oh, he's very likable.
You grow to like him as a character, and like the relationship between Robert De Niro's characters Frank and him, and the one between Al Pacino and him. It's like a love triangle.
Yeah, I liked all the characters.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
You know, I was on Jimmy Hoffa's side.
Yeah, me too.
Even though he can't get out of his own way, I'm like, oh, come on, change history. You know,
Tony Pro. I can't remember the actor's name. He's the Liverpool actor.
Stephen Graham.
Yeah, he's so good playing the villain and everything like this.
The loudest shirt you'll ever see.
Yeah.
You've watched the breakdowns as I have.
Yeah.
He talks about how they improvised so much and they would just work out a scene.
Yeah.
Which I also heard on The Wolf of Wall Street. It's Spike Lee, isn't it, the director that's in that? He talks about the same thing where he's like, oh, I was on set. Like, Spike Lee is a great director. He's done like adaptation. He did
Black Klansman.
No, he didn't. Sorry. Yeah, you're right, but it's Spike Jonze who's in it.
Spike Jonze. Oh, right.
Yeah, sorry, I got the name wrong.
Oh, okay.
Spike Jonze. He did like adaptation.
Yeah.
He did Being John Malkovich, Where the Wild Things Are.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
He's that guy. He did her. He wrote and directed her, and he's in it. And he's the guy who's selling the pink slips, and he hires Leonardo DiCaprio. He's also the stepfather in Moneyball.
Oh yeah,
you hate him.
Yeah, you do hate him.
And he's such a nice, passive guy in it.
Yeah.
And you still hate him.
Yeah.
And you're like, Brad Pitt could fuck him up.
I love Brad Pitt in that movie.
But he's a great director, Spike Jonze.
Yeah.
And he talks about being on set with Martin Scorsese, and he was all like, oh, I can't wait to pick his brain. And then he finds out that, we're going to ad-lib a bit, and we're going to improvise and just work out the scene and go over it ourselves and change what we want to change. He couldn't believe that. It's like so the freedom. He couldn't believe that Martin Scorsese he sounds like an actor's director. It's like,
he does.
You work out the scene.
Jonah Hill said when he was getting into acting, he was like, one dream that he had was working with Martin Scorsese, and he managed to do it. And he said it was one of the best experiences of his life. And
I would argue it's his best performance of any movie.
Definitely. But Stephen Graham is a really good window into how it is on set, where he talks about all the different things that ad-libbed and they ended up getting in the movie.
He sounds so excited.
He's so
excited for working with these legends.
Yeah. And Al Pacino gave him a nickname. He calls him the Kid. And he loved that.
Yeah, especially since the guy's like nearly 50 and he's been called the Kid.
And you know, Leonardo DiCaprio has a nickname for him as well. He calls him the Animal.
Oh, I see this. What was it?
Gangs of New York. But it was on Jonathan Ross.
Jonathan Ross, that's what it is. And he nearly fucking broke his leg.
He nearly broke. Yeah, DiCaprio was like, "You nearly broke. Do you know how much? You're an animal, man." I love it.
Yeah, he turned over a golf cart that they were both in, and it nearly crushed Leonardo DiCaprio's leg.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. But Stephen Graham because he's from Liverpool and it's closer to home. We're in Ireland.
Yeah.
He has a very everyman kind of vibe about him.
Totally.
So it sounds like he's just a fan that gets to work with these legends, and it's so infectious listening to him talk about it.
And he's really proud as well of
so
everything.
Proud.
He's like, he's not afraid to talk about the ad-libs that got into the movie, you know, like he talks about all this stuff, and he was like, you know what, I saw Robert De Niro over there, and I was like, let's throw to him and see what he has to say in a scene.
He reminded me of when, like, being in a band. Sometimes I found I'd be telling my friends, they'd say, I love that line, and I'd be like, I came up with that lyric. You know, you're like, that was my little touch to it, or you know that drum roll, I actually came up with the idea for that drum roll, and then the drummer did it. He sounds like the same thing where he's like, because he hits the bowl.
Yeah, he smacks
in that
the ball.
Scene,
yeah,
and he talks about how I think he told like the cinematographer, and he told one or two people on the set, at one point I'm gonna smack the scene, but he didn't tell Pacino.
No, and he waited for the last take as well.
Yeah, and then he knocks it out, and like he actually scared Pacino.
Did you see him? He came at me.
Yeah, he scared me, Marty.
The kid scared me, Marty. Yeah,
he seems so proud of that, and I love that, and it just reminded me of like being in a band. And you're like, that little detail, that was actually my idea. He sounds like that kind of guy.
Yeah.
But in a good way, like he's just so happy that he got his own little bit
Yeah.
in there.
It's not bragging. It's like genuinely excitement. He's
Yeah,
like,
that was my own voice there
Yeah.
for 1 second. That's actually me who came up with that.
I love that.
And I think that's how you get a great performance.
Mm-hmm.
When an actor feels like they're not just reading lines.
Yeah.
Where it's funny because my favorite director is David Fincher,
Mm-hmm.
who is the complete opposite of that.
Just wants the lines read as they're.
Yeah, he's really meticulous and he likes it he'll do so many takes until he gets exactly what he wants.
Yeah.
And it's funny, Martin Scorsese, it's mad to actually think that he's so loose on set. I love the idea of just working out a scene.
Yeah.
And it changes it a lot.
Totally. Well, it's funny when Robert De Niro talks about in one of them the table read, and he's like, "Yeah, the table read, man. You looked around and it was a really great atmosphere and
He got
everything."
his table read.
And that's all I was thinking of. I was like, boy, he wasn't as happy for the Joker table read. I can tell you that much. But
we should give a little bit of context as Joaquin Phoenix doesn't do table reads.
Joaquin Phoenix gets into character, doesn't want to do table reads, wants everything to be fresh when he gets in. But
De Niro turned up his mafia, Italian American style, and was like, "We gonna do a table read."
I'm concerned you won't do a table read. I'm concerned about that. But
he made him do a table read.
Yeah.
Like a teenage child just sitting there. Like he was legitimately supposed to be very unhappy.
Pouting.
Yeah.
So, you could see why De Niro likes it though. Like I totally get old style Hollywood. Wants to do the table read. But
if De Niro wants to do a table read, you do a table read.
Totally. And a table read with Martin Scorsese and everything, and seeing all those actors around, it'd be fucking great. Yeah. Like you'd be pinching yourself. But
instantly, yeah.
This movie
and constantly.
I just smacked my mic. This movie, like all of Martin Scorsese's movies, is instantly quotable. You remember like so many bits of it. We keep saying like they wouldn't dare.
They wouldn't dare. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies where I love when you're like a minute deep into a scene and you're like, this is a classic scene.
Is classic.
People are gonna reference this scene.
Frank, it is what it is.
But there's so many movies that you don't get that sense, even though they eventually do become classic scenes.
Yeah.
Where it's funny how instantaneous you're like, oh, this is a classic scene.
This is a classic.
Like people are going to quote this scene. They have to quote this scene. This is amazing.
But then there's some scenes like Joker going down the stairs. You're like, that's a classic scene. Yeah. Joker.
But that's one of those ones where you're like, instantly
classic. Joker, not to keep talking about Joker, but talking about how he got these scars, all those scenes, you're like, that's a classic
from
scene
the Christopher
right
Nolan
there.
thing.
Christopher Nolan ones.
Even I think of Joker when he's behind the curtains and he's doing his movement. I've seen so many pictures of that all over the interweb.
Yeah. The Let's Get Nuts. I'm just doing Batman scenes that are classic. The Let's Get Nuts scene from Batman '89. I love that scene.
Wait till they get a load of me.
Wait till they get a load of me. And as you can see, I'm a lot happier. And then he shoots. I love that scene.
So yeah, you get that with The Irishman. I showed you my favorite scene.
Yeah. It's
I'm going to jail.
Yeah, I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail
because of you.
Because of you.
It's so good.
It's amazing. And then
you dumb motherfucker.
You're selling insurance to his uncle's nephew. And it's just so good.
You dumb motherfuckers.
And then, I mean, there's so many scenes. Like having watched it twice, like you go through and you're like, oh, I love this bit. I'm so excited that we get to have this bit. It just people are kind of like saying, I don't know. There's a mixed review on this. Have you seen that? Like people think it's a great movie, but they don't think it's one of his best.
I've seen many people just giving out about the length more than anything else. I hate how it's become like a little bit of a meme. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Scorsese gave out about he doesn't want anyone to watch it on their phone.
Yeah.
And then instantly everyone just made fun of him for saying that. It's just he's such Hollywood royalty that I just hate it. I hate it. Like it's Scorsese. I think now people just think of him as this crazy old man, geriatric, because of the Marvel comments he made. And even that was taken out of context.
Totally.
Because if you actually read the full statement, he compliments, and then calls it a theme park.
Yeah.
Like he talks about how a lot of work goes into it and they're fantastic actors and they do the best they can for what they're given.
Yeah.
But then he relates it to theme park rides.
Yeah.
And obviously many publications just ran with that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And also the man can fucking have his opinion. He's Scorsese.
I totally get. He's like, I don't want any of you watching it on your phone. We shouldn't watch any movie on our phone.
Yeah.
You know, like no movie should be watched that way.
And I would hate to think if a director came out and said, "Oh well, I made this for mobile devices."
Yeah,
I'd hate that.
I'd be like, I don't want to. Why?
Why?
I
don't
would
like
you
that.
do that? Yeah, it's exactly. It's like it's just people. We're in an age of like meme culture, and people are like, huh, look at this guy. He's not hip with the times or whatever. And I'm like, well, no, none of us should be watching movies on our phones.
You got to think about the overall context.
Yeah.
Scorsese tried to get this movie made for 9 years.
Yeah.
And then he went to Netflix. Because no studio would give him the budget that he needed.
Yeah.
So you can imagine why he's a bit sour.
Yeah.
Because he probably had been working on this script for ages, developing it, which De Niro brought to him, by the way. He's the one who brought the book and was like, we should do this. This is our project that we need to work on together.
Bob sent me the book. I love when people call.
I want to be able to call him Bob.
I want to be called.
But he's Mr. De Niro to us.
He's Mr. De Niro, yeah. Oh, and have you seen when he's getting the AFI award, the Actors Film Achievement, and I can't remember who is opening it. Oh, it's fucking Billy Crystal. Billy Crystal
cool.
is giving the opening speech, and he's like, Mr. De Niro to young upstarts, Bob to his friends, and Bobby to TV executives who've never met him before.
That's great because he hates Bobby, doesn't he?
Yeah, he hates it.
It's known.
Yeah, so I love that little.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Billy Crystal is always very, very funny.
Yeah.
But
sorry, just to explain, as I was saying, like he tried to get this made for 9 years and no one would give him the money, so he had to go to Netflix.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, like Scorsese, one of the all-time best filmmakers ever, can't get a movie made.
Yeah.
And has to go to Netflix to get it made. And this is why, though, I hate that loads of news outlets and all film and movie news outlets, they gave out about, the next Scorsese movie's not going to be released in cinemas. Like, isn't it great that Netflix said, we'll give you, I think it was 158 or 159 million is what it ended up costing.
Yeah.
We'll just give you that to make it. Well, then, can we really give out? Like, I mean, like, it's a shame, but we're getting that movie.
Yeah.
Like, would you rather just not be made? But at the same time, I do understand why Scorsese's like seeing these huge superhero movies making over 2 billion and he can't get his dream project made, and he's got all this legacy behind him.
Yeah. Well, it's a double-edged sword, all this stuff, it's the modern era.
And I still love Marvel movies.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm not saying he's right, I just understand where he's coming from.
Totally.
And I just respect his opinion. That's what I'm trying to say.
Anyway, we on Straight to Series feel that The Irishman is well worth the 3.5 hours.
Easily. Did you watch the second time around? Did you watch it in one go?
Watched in one go both.
Fair play.
The second time around, because I watched it in parts. Like I said, I think I was over halfway through when I was on the podcast last, and the second time I watched it straight through.
That's great.
And I loved it. I thought it was great. It didn't feel long. Well, I mean, it was long, but like, I don't know. After seeing it again, I was like, that scene I really like is coming up, and then that scene I really like is coming up, and everything. And then you notice more the second time, like. Your favorite scene, I mean, it happens midway through. Jimmy Hoffa's given out to people, and then afterwards, Frank Sheeran, Robert De Niro's character, walks out, and he's like, "You were given out to me." And I was watching that scene again, and Jimmy Hoffa tells Robert De Niro, he's like, "I didn't even see you in the room."
Yeah.
And when you watch that scene again, you're like, "Oh, he's not even looking at him in the scene."
It was great. You pointed that out to me. Like, he doesn't even see him in the room. Like, he's not looking at him at all.
He's not even looking at him.
Because De Niro's like, you call me a dumb motherfucker. Like,
well,
like, no, I wasn't talking to you.
He's like, you can talk to them like that. You can't talk to me like that.
And I love that Pacino's then starts taking his jacket back off. And he's like, no, don't go anywhere.
You're like, it's really a misunderstanding between friends as well. So, we think it's well worth the watch.
Easily worth the watch.
Whatever platform you want to enjoy it on.
Yeah.
But on your phone, probably not the best way to watch it.
It's a very cinematic Netflix movie.
Totally.
Like, it's so cinematic.
You should watch it on the best device you have.
Yeah.
Because it's worth it.
It is worth it.
But if you can't, then you can't. It's worth a watch anyway.
You should watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's one of the best movies of the year, easily.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Definitely.
It's got loads of... It got like something like 5 Golden Globe nominations, which is always a good sign for the Oscars and all like that.
Pacino or Pesci, I don't know who.
I know, it's funny how it's not the lead character.
Yeah,
I wouldn't give it to De Niro.
Well, De Niro's consistently, he's really good throughout the movie.
Yes.
Consistently good. He doesn't have, I don't know, he has there are some great moments, but he's very consistent.
The character's very subdued though as well.
It's very subdued.
Where, Pesci, not Pesci, sorry.
Pacino.
Al Pacino just gets to be Al Pacino constantly.
Yeah. It's just...
What's the scene that you were showing me then? You charge a man with a gun.
You charge a man with a gun, with a knife you run. You run with the knife.
He's so animated.
And he's holding Jesse Plemons' hand. He's like, "This is my boy. I raised him."
The cast is just ridiculously good as well.
Yeah.
Like Ray Romano, Jesse Plemons, Anna Paquin's in it.
Anna Paquin.
People were giving out. I was telling you about Anna Paquin having something like 17 lines of dialogue.
Yeah, but as you said, Chris D'Elia,
the famous comedian, had a great bit on one of his podcasts about how the film's about a hitman and his child not talking to him.
Yeah.
Because she hates what he does.
Yeah.
So how can you make her talk without talking to the lead character that the whole film is centered around?
Well, the whole point of that character is she doesn't say a lot, but when she says something, it's very impactful.
And also, as Chris D'Elia says, she still kills it.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. He's like, she doesn't even talk and she's killing it. That's how good Anna Paquin is.
She has one of the most gut-wrenching scenes in it. Like, it's one of the...
It breaks your heart.
It breaks your heart. Because, you kind of... The scene before breaks your heart a little bit.
Peggy, that's her name, isn't it? The character, yeah.
The scene before kind of breaks your heart because something terrible happens and you're like, oh, man, I'm so upset. And then you're watching the aftermath of that and you're kind of processing it and dealing with it, and then she just like cuts through everything, and it's really good. It's great.
She's great. Everything's great about her. Ray Romano's brilliant. Bobby Cannavale's in it.
Bobby Cannavale with his hair thinned out.
It's so good.
Looks great.
He looks great as that character with the bad hair. Like,
I love when he comes out in his dressing gown and he's like, "He won't pay me." He was like, "Let me guess, this is his mother's funeral. Here, take this." And he like getting in the car with him. And he's this fag hanging out of his mouth.
Everybody pops in this.
Yeah. It's just great, and everyone should check it out. We also saw Knives Out, both of us this week.
Both of us seen Knives Out.
Definitely recommend. Go out and see that.
So you know that little film called The Last Jedi?
Do you know that one that
we've kicked around since episode 1.
Yeah.
And we will continue to kick it around. When The Rise of Skywalker comes out, we're going to have a few things to say about The Last Jedi.
I've been watching a lot of Last Jedi related material in preparation for Rise of Skywalker, and let me tell you, my anger is still hot.
Well, in case anyone didn't know, Rian Johnson wrote and directed
Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi and Knives Out. So it's very interesting that we both love this movie.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't work well with Star Wars.
No, you just...
It's a great movie.
It is a great movie. Loved it. All the performances are great.
Brilliant.
Daniel Craig, Chris Evans.
Chris Evans really pops because it's the complete opposite of Captain America. He's an absolute sleazy dick in it.
And that makes him even better.
Yeah, I love it.
And you really enjoy watching him be a dick.
He's such a buff guy.
Yeah.
In it.
He's huge.
You can't help but just be like, holy shit, look at that guy.
Yeah.
It's shot so well.
It is. Anna de Armas is in it.
I'm in love with her. I'm absolutely in love with her.
She's stunning.
She's so innocent. There's something about her. Like, it'd be horrible if she was an absolute bitch in real life.
Yeah.
But she has this innocent look about her. It's so believable. It seems so authentic. I'm like, I'm in love with this character instantly.
Yeah. Who else? Who's the...
Christopher Plummer.
Who's the mom? Fuck, I can't think of her name.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Because of True Lies, I will forever be attracted to Jamie Lee Curtis.
Me too.
She's such a grandmother now, and I'm still like... I put like a True Lies filter on her every time, and I'm just like, I still would.
So I'd
still go down there.
So I've watched all 7 seasons of New Girl, right? Jamie Lee Curtis is...
She the mother?
She's the mother of Zooey Deschanel's character. She flirts with...
Schmidt?
No, Jake Johnson's character in it. It's sexy.
Is it?
And she's the grey hair and everything, and she starts kind of flirting with him. I'm like, Jamie Lee Curtis. Ugh. And her and Rob Reiner make out in an elevator.
Nice.
So, and Rob Reiner is an old man as well, but he's really good in that TV show. But check out Knives Out in cinemas, and then come home and watch The Irishman.
Yeah, it's such a good murder mystery.
Totally. It's really fun. It's just a fun movie. Fun.
And it really, like, instantly, I'm not going to give anything away, but it just turns it upside down. instantly.
Yeah.
So everything you think you know about murder mysteries, like I went in going, well, I kind of understand how it's going to go. It just turns it upside down instantly. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I love it.
And if it does well, Rian Johnson apparently has plans that he could possibly have, like Daniel Craig's character is the investigator,
Yes.
and have him do kind of multiple movies where he's investigating, kind of like a Poirot style character. So that I'd like to see that.
I would love to see that.
Totally.
It's not, it's a film that is not building a franchise, but just easily could fall into it.
Yeah, exactly.
And at the moment, it cost $40 million to make. And it's so well shot as well. It looks, everything about the movie looks fantastic.
Great. And I'd love to see, like, those movies don't exist anymore, if you know what I mean. Like
well, they're coming back. Kenneth Branagh did that one.
Murder in New York, but it didn't do very well.
It did really well.
Did it?
Yeah, the sequel's coming out.
I thought it didn't do well at all.
No, Murder on the Nile, I think, is the next one that's coming out.
Murder on the Orient Express is the first one, and the next one's Murder on the Nile, is it?
Yeah, I think
I
so.
thought it didn't do well. It wasn't reviewed well.
Yeah, I watched it. It had such a good cast.
Stellar cast.
And it really falls apart in the third act. Like, it just... I was into it, and I love those movies. Like,
Me
if
too.
they're done well,
Yeah.
I love them. Same with Prison Break movies. I'm just like, I don't know why, I just gravitate towards them.
I love the old ones. I love like, it's basically scenes of people talking, and then at the end of the scene, the investigator is like, just kind of flips it around. I love Columbo is one of my favorites.
Yeah, and it's almost... It kind of is like the Shyamalan twist kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where at the end you're like, here's the real story.
Yeah,
You're like, oh my God.
He's like, you have said this, but really, how could you be there and here at the same time?
Yeah.
And he saw a person here, and that must have been you in disguise. And it's just...
The revelation is always it's so fun. It's so entertaining.
Yeah.
And in this, it really is. It Knives Out.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's so good. It brings back like memories of those... It evokes feelings of those old movies that you used to love as a kid, where at the end you kind of go, oh, they were the killer the whole time. Oh, aren't they terrible? Murder, She Wrote. Yeah.
There's a nod to that as well.
Columbo, I always loved because he bumbles his way. You think he's bumbling.
You
he's
think
like,
he's an idiot.
Excuse me, I just don't understand, you know? And then he's like, he's picking, and then right at the end, he just pulls it all together.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
I love it.
Yeah. So, yeah, we could... So 2 movies.
2 movies.
Got the stamp of approval.
Yeah, wow. We've never had such positive reviews.
And with trailers this week. Yeah. This is not going to be an entertaining podcast because we're too happy.
We've nothing to complain about. Do you want to talk about Six Underground? You watched it?
Don't get me started.
Let's move on to trailers.
You know, there's a scene that I'm going to show you when you rewatch it. There's a scene in Six Underground, Michael Bay's new film, that makes no sense whatsoever in a car chase where these bad guys are. This is all I'll talk about for Six Underground, because I don't want to fall down that trap door.
This is already longer than I thought we'd be talking about.
There's a car chase, and at one point there's these goons, and they're in a jeep.
Yeah.
And there's so many action scenes where I'm like, I don't understand. I don't understand what's happening. I can't comprehend what's happening. It's just cutscene. But these guys are in a jeep, and they see Ryan Reynolds and his crew, and they're on top of this steep stairs, and they're in a jeep, and they're like, fucking floor it, and they just kill themselves.
Oh, fucking hell.
Just go down the stairs and die. Like, just, no one made them do it.
I don't know.
And you'd have to see the scene, but they just go out of the windshield.
Yeah.
And, like, the good guys did nothing to them.
Okay.
It was just their own egos that killed them.
Can I ask you a question? How much does Michael Bay support the U.S. Army in this movie? And that face says it all. That face says it all.
Make it rain.
Make it rain. All right, we'll move on to trailers because we've 5 written down. And normally we have something like The Way Back or something where we're like, we don't have to talk about that. All 5 of these are pretty huge trailers.
Yeah, we're glad about each one of them.
Yeah, so we'll go through them in order. Ghostbusters Afterlife is the first one I have written.
I don't like that. I like this.
Yeah, because you really hated, because you went to the cinema to try and support the
all-female Ghostbusters.
I hate that it's called a female Ghostbusters, but it doesn't have...
Yeah, it doesn't have that subtitle or whatever you would call it, the extension of the name.
They just call it Ghostbusters kind of pretentiously, if you ask me.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like... As if, like, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Leslie Jones is very vocal about this movie, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Does not like it at all.
She loves her Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
It's shockingly bad. Honestly, I went to see it because all my friends were like, I'm not going to see that.
Yeah.
That trailer looks terrible. And I was like, it does look terrible, but I want to see it so I can have a legitimate view on it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be just that guy who's like, nope. It's terrible.
Totally.
And I went to see it, and
Which
I was like,
me.
Oh, okay. It's terrible.
Oh, okay.
And it's really bad. And you know, even the reviews were so soft on it.
Yeah.
They were so light on it because you can't dislike it without being a misogynist. Mm-hmm. You know, you can't. If you dislike it, you're sexist.
Yeah.
If you don't like Moonlight, you're racist.
Yes. And homophobic.
Oh, and homophobic.
Don't forget that. Yeah. I was gonna say.
And you don't like rap music.
Oh,
50
yeah.
Cent.
It's 50 Cent. Yeah, he's not in it. Leslie Jones, I understand she probably had a great time making the movie.
Totally.
Probably, I'm sure it was a lot of fun. All the cast seemed to be enjoying themselves, having a good time, blah, blah, blah. I feel like she needs to separate herself from that. Maybe she was proud of it when she was making it, but
yeah, of course.
I totally get that.
I get that with Ben Affleck and Batman vs Superman.
Totally. He was happy when he was making it, and then it came out, and all the interviews he looks sad in.
Yeah, I know.
And then no one would want to talk about Live by Night.
He's like, this is gonna cause me to get divorced and go to rehab.
Yeah, and drink and everything. But yeah, I mean,
well, here, this is what, in my defense, right? This is how I put it.
Mm-hmm.
When I seen Ghostbusters, the female version of Ghostbusters, and I hated it. And I seen all the reviews trying to be nice about it. Like, no one going, it's amazing. Kind of just being like, I respect what they did. But not really saying it was terrible.
Yeah.
The way I look at it is Paul Feig or Feig?
Feig.
Paul Feig directed this. He also directed Bridesmaids, which I love. Has a very similar cast.
Yeah.
Kristen Wiig's in it, Melissa McCarthy's in it, and I love that movie. So then the same creative team made Ghostbusters, and I hate that movie.
Yeah.
Said it's nothing to do with their gender.
No.
It's a bad movie.
It's just a bad movie.
You know, that's the way I put it.
Yeah, totally. And that's perfectly acceptable to have that opinion, even though a lot of news outlets at the time did not think so.
No, they kind of backed away from
Collider.
Still fucking won't leave it alone as well.
Yeah, they won't. They don't want you to take a side in Marriage Story.
Oh yeah.
They don't want
Don't you dare.
Don't you take a side.
They wouldn't dare.
Yeah, they wouldn't dare take a side in this beautiful movie about Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson splitting up. I need to watch that movie because we might talk about it at some
Please
stage.
do.
Yeah,
You'll love
I
it.
really want to. But the Afterlife trailer, I think it's great. Apart from one really bad line, don't like the humor in it. But it's but how can you live up to the comedic talents of Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, fucking hell, Stan. No, Stan is the name of the character.
Stan, stomp your foot.
Yeah, Stan, stomp your foot.
This is bad.
Harold Ramis.
Thank you.
Harold Ramis and
Ivan Reitman was the director.
Ivan Reitman was the director, and his son.
Jason Reitman wrote and directed this. Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah.
Love Afterlife. I love that name.
It's a great. What's the name of the black guy in Ghostbusters? Sorry, I didn't. What's the name of the actor? His name. He's also he's the prison warden in Oz. I've watched that so many times. Yeah, he's a great actor, and I can't think of his name. Oh wow, he's not even. Oh, he's not even in starring. Fucking Sigourney Weaver. How sexy is she in that movie?
And what, when they were making the female reboot, and they're like, well, let's not give any male actor a strong role in it.
Yeah.
They forget that Sigourney Weaver is the strongest, I would say the most physically strong person in that entire movie.
Yeah.
She could hand Bill Murray his ass in that movie.
It's great.
She's such a strong female character.
Yeah.
And then when they did the female reboot, they're like, well, let's get Chris Hemsworth to be just an absolute buffoon.
Bumbling idiot.
Yeah. And that's the only real male character in the movie.
What the fuck? Dan Aykroyd,
William Atherton?
No, it's Ernie Hudson. Winston.
Hudson.
Yeah, Winston. Yeah. I remember when the first trailer came out, and I remember the uproar. I actually think the reason why people put it off lightly, it was probably due to the backlash when it was first announced, because a lot of the, as with both things, the unhealthy voices on the internet got a lot of play when they were like, I don't want women in the Ghostbusters, blah, 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 blah. And I think that's why people might have been a bit less willing to go after it.
Was it Ernie Hudson himself who said that he doesn't like the sound of this all-female cast? It was one of the cast members that did say it.
Yeah, it was. But I just meant to say that when the first trailer came out, they said... in 1980, when did this come out? 1980.
I think it's 84.
84, I think so too. Same year as Wonder Woman. We'll be getting into that. 1984. 4 scientists.
Maybe she's watching Ghostbusters, or we'll see a theater in the background with Ghostbusters on it.
Maybe.
That would be excellent.
But one of the things people criticized was 4 scientists in 1984 to fought back against ghosts, blah, 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 and all the nerds online. It was 3 scientists. Ernie Hudson's character was not a scientist. It was 3 scientists and a normal guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know.
And also, they're scientists, and yet Sigourney Weaver makes the most sense in the movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times where she's like, "What? You are fucking idiots! How are you guys scientists?"
Also, Bill Murray is a scientist, but he's like, I love.
He's such Jack the lad. Like,
yeah, he's so good. When
did you fall into the science degree? Like, how did you?
When he's doing the psychic thing with the
just
guy,
handing them out, like, do you want to be a scientist?
Do you want to be a scientist?
You're a scientist now.
Thank you. This is what I deserve. I love when he's doing the psychic thing, and like the guy is like, "Oh, I think it's a square." Nope, and he shocks him, and he looks at the sexy girl, and he's like, "Come on. You know this.
Yes.
You know this." And she's like, "I think it's a circle." How did you do that? How did you? And he's putting it down and everything.
Oh, he's such a creep. I love it. He's such a creep to Sigourney Weaver as well. And I just love how she takes none of his nonsense.
Yeah, totally.
She really is a great character in it.
She is. But she still wants to fuck him, which is
what, yeah. Well, you knew she'll come around eventually. And as you said, she is actually really sexy.
She is when she starts lifting off the bed and everything, and she's in the fuck, what's his name?
And her voice.
And her voice, yeah, sexy voice.
You know, she's like the demon.
Zool, yeah. And then, are you the gatekeeper? I'm the keymaster. What's his name? Rick Moranis. Yes. He's fucking great in that as well.
Yeah, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
I Shrunk the Kids. Yeah. So yeah, Ghostbusters Afterlife. We barely talked about the trailer, but it looks great.
It looks so fun.
Everything about it is fun.
When he holds up the ghost catcher, whatever those things are called, the yellow and black thing.
Yeah,
I love it. Paul Rudd, what a great choice.
And I love that they don't try and update, that they're using the classic stuff. Like that was the problem with the other Ghostbusters, where they try and make modern versions of it.
Yeah,
and I was like, it kind of looks better when it's kind of the junky old versions.
That they don't really work that well either. You're like, could break down at any moment.
I kind of like. I just think it looks better if the tech isn't as refined.
The Ecto 1. It's the actual classic car. Like, they're not using an updated version at all.
Yeah. Everything about it is so cool.
Yeah. I hope this is good.
Yeah, me too.
It needs a win.
It does.
After that terrible movie, it really does need a win.
Yeah. And I'd like to see more of Ghostbusters. Like, I like Ghostbusters. I really like both the movies, even though people don't like Ghostbusters 2.
I know. I think a lot of people do as well. Yeah. I don't know. Like, at the time when it came out, it was critically panned, but I view it as like a comedy classic.
I've never not liked it, but I think it might be an iRobot situation where I watched it years ago. I haven't watched.
So you're just in love with it now?
I'm just in love with it. Or I might need to watch the 2 of them again.
I think, though, I'll always love it because of the connection I had with it when I was a child.
Yeah,
it's one of those movies that you could tell me it's awful a billion times and I'll still be like, but I love it.
Ghostbusters 1 is just a classic, like,
absolute
no matter
classic. What. Hands down. It's amazing that they never made more than 2.
Yeah.
Because it left behind such a legacy.
Totally. The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. It's so good.
Yeah. The suits.
Yeah.
You still see people like dressing up as
everything. Cross the streams,
Cross the streams, which supposedly they made up on the day.
Yeah. So good. It's just a great movie altogether. Yeah. So we're very excited about Ghostbusters. It looks really good.
Ghostbusters Afterlife. I wonder when it comes out, actually.
2020?
Yeah. I just don't know the...
Yeah.
There's the reboot. 144 million it cost to make. The all-female cast one. Interesting. It's a big budget.
It is a big budget.
For a comedy.
Controversy.
Obviously, the controversy is all about...
I'd love to read that.
Yeah.
Fans felt entitled, did they? Oh, okay. Very good. Have you seen Henry Cavill? Someone asked him a question about, what do you think about fan entitlement? And he was like, I actually don't think... I get what you're saying, and I understand that there can be an element of that, but I actually think that when someone have played all the hours of the game and the books and everything like that, I get that they have their own image of it and expect a certain thing to it. And he's getting a lot of praise for that.
Yeah, online. I was about to say, that's like the perfect answer.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of praise.
Which one do you want?
I'll take the Red Bull, because I've had 2 of these now. My heart might explode.
Yep. No, that's the perfect answer you want to hear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's why when you see Zack Snyder and he's like, "Hey, I got this idea where I'm gonna kill Jimmy Olsen."
Yeah.
In like the first scene or whatever of Batman vs Superman, you're like, really?
Really?
Like,
why?
Yeah.
Does that need to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's typical. But anyway, so yeah, he's getting a lot of praise for that.
That's a really cool thing to
the
hear.
interviewer was clearly baiting him into being like, tell us how much you're annoyed by the fans.
I know, yeah.
And he's done a really good job of like, not even sidestepping it, being like, actually, you know, I understand what you're saying, but I disagree. Yeah. I think it's acceptable to some regards, you know.
So, Ghostbusters Afterlife is out in July. It's actually a long time away.
Yeah, July 10th in 2020. Oh, Sigourney Weaver's in it.
Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd.
Oh, they're all back. Awesome.
Oh, that's excellent.
And so this is just me, but Mr. Gruberson as Paul Rudd's character, isn't that a Ghostbusters name?
Is it?
Doesn't that sound like... No, but like when you think of Ghostbusters and like their name, it's like, that sounds like a Ghostbusters name, you know?
But here's the thing as well. The house that's in the trailer.
Yeah.
The inherit because someone dies.
Harold Ramis.
Is it Harold Ramis?
Yeah, because he's Spengler.
Okay,
yeah.
And they actually say that in the trailer, do they? Or
they don't specifically say it, but the one she pulls back is Spengler, and that's Harold Ramis'
okay,
character.
Great. Because I didn't know whose house it was, and I was just like, I hope it's not Bill Murray's house because I so want to see him in the movie.
No, I think
or in a sequel if he wasn't.
Totally.
In that.
No, I think it's them paying homage because obviously Harold Ramis is dead.
Actually passed away.
Passed away, and it was a huge tragedy. And I think this movie is trying to, again, pay homage to the older movie and be like, you know, who would be better at respecting a previous movie than the son of the person who made the movie?
Who made it? Ivan Reitman's son.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, some good vibes.
So anyway, that's one of the 5 trailers we have to talk about.
Right. Come on.
Next one I have written down is Black Widow.
Black Widow. Oh, actually, yeah, I forgot about this.
Yeah.
It's bad that I even forgot about it.
I know.
Yeah.
Lukewarm.
Lukewarm,
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not that interested in it.
I mean, I'm interested. It's a Marvel movie. I'm very invested in that universe already.
Me too, but I hate that I know her story, how it ends.
Totally.
And that I didn't think it would affect me as much as it did.
Yeah.
When I seen the trailer, I was like, oh yeah, but she dies, you know?
And it's kind of weird that the most exciting part of it, I think we both agreed, is David Harbour.
I know, which you know is exactly what Marvel and Disney do not want you to be.
I know.
You're supposed to be like, oh, look, it's Black Widow.
Black Widow.
She's back.
Finally, you know, but it's like, David Harbour, he just look...
When he's looking in the mirror, he's like,
yeah, and I love he's gotten like fat and everything. And
is it the Crimson Guardian or the Red Guardian?
Red Guardian.
The Red Guardian.
Red Guardian. Yeah.
I like the name of Crimson Guardian.
Crimson Guardian's good. Crimson Dynamo is an Iron Man villain.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
cool.
he's also a Russian version of Iron Man.
Oh, really?
There was a big thing in the 1980s. All big superheroes had a Russian equivalent who was evil.
And just put red in front, like the Red Sun.
Red Guardian, Crimson,
Superman, Red Sun.
Winter Soldier, Superman, Red Sun. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I mean, he looks really cool. We were saying that the one thing we don't like about the trailer is that it feels like they're going too big.
Way too big.
Because all the smaller stuff in the trailer looks really good. Like you pointed out, she gets at one stage Black Widow gets tossed into a window, and you're like, that looks so cool.
It's an actual stunt person.
Yeah.
Getting a real blow, and I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. And yeah, as we were saying, like Black Widow is an assassin or a spy. She's a spy. She's not a superhero. She's no actual powers. It's all skill.
Yeah.
And athleticism and agility, all that like together. And yet we see her flying through the sky.
Yeah,
she's falling and she's like going through debris and things like that.
It feels too big.
Way too big.
Now I suppose people could argue that like Batman does stuff like this as well, and he
doesn't as well. Like some of the Christopher, like the Dark Knight, right? Maybe not Dark Knight Rises, but the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
There's a lot of contained action. There's a lot of hand to hand.
Back, yeah.
Like, I wanted to see some fucking Black Widow Russian kung fu going on. That's what I wanted to see.
I want to see her do hurricanranas more.
Hell yeah. Like we said, Atomic Blonde.
Mm-hmm. Atomic Blonde, or take like Rebecca Ferguson. We always talk about Rebecca Ferguson from Mission Impossible.
Her legs? Are we talking about her legs again? I think we're talking about her legs.
But essentially,
if her legs could be in Black Widow in some way.
In some way. Can we get her in a Marvel movie, please?
But yeah, as you're saying, her style of fighting in the Mission Impossible movies, it's just all skill.
I think they've done
great.
They've a really good job of like developing, I know, like female fighting in movies, and like not having them just do like big high kicks and everything. They're like it's all about agility and speed
Joss
and everything.
Whedon did it perfectly in the first Avengers.
Yeah.
You know, when she does that drop kick into that kip up, and then she jumps back up, it was like, oh, yes.
Whereas, like, you can also have a scene between Michelle Rodriguez and Ronda Rousey, and they're kind of more bruisers.
Oh, that's
and
just like a clash.
Yeah,
like that's
exactly.
proper like fisticuffs.
Fisticuff stuff. So I think they've developed a style that's like, especially in modern movies, where like female fighters, and you've like got the more agile ones and everything. And then I think it's really cool, and I love watching it.
I thought we were going to see a ton of gunfights.
Me too.
In Black Widow, and then we see her jumping through the sky, and you see her on buildings or chimneys that are falling over. I'm like,
it feels a bit too much.
She's doing backflips off helicopters.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was a great opportunity to tone it down a bit.
Totally.
And I was saying to you, like, I didn't think it would be like street level, like Daredevil.
No.
But I thought it'd be the next step up.
Totally. Winter Soldier. Best way of putting it. You know, like the best scene in the trailer is everything with David Harbour, and the fight scene in the apartment, because they're so alike that they're like swapping guns and they're like doing the same things to each other. So it's just, I don't know. It's what you want. It's what I wanted to see. Maybe I had the wrong idea, but I feel like that's the way to go with this movie.
I assume that's the way they were going to go. And we were only saying, like, before we recorded the podcast, like, you can't imagine Hawkeye being in those situations either. Like, you don't want to see Hawkeye flying through the air. You don't want to see him doing crazy backflips off helicopters. You want to see him in a fist fight. You want to see him using his mind.
Yeah.
And, like, his strategizing.
He's
and stuff
running
like
at
that.
Arrows. Stuff like that is what you want to see. You know, he's getting banged around, and maybe for the whole movie he only has the arrows on his back. You know what I mean? Or something like that. It's small, contained, and like you realize how human they are, and then they have to overcome something in a superhuman way, you know?
But this is the thing with women in Hollywood, like the characters now, like I think a lot of studios are afraid.
Yeah.
Like they don't want, I think there's a big thing of like Black Widow can't look less than Iron Man.
Yeah. Oh,
do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
She can't look less than Captain America.
Yeah.
But the character's skills is less than. Like, she's not a superhero.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean she's weaker.
No.
That doesn't mean I'm less invested in her. And this is, like, we talked about this with Terminator, where you're like, oh, let's put Linda Hamilton, one of the strongest fucking female actors ever.
Yeah.
Like, Sarah Connor, she's so strong. We put Mackenzie Davis.
Yeah.
Who got ripped for her role.
Totally.
Then they're going to sandwich this small Latino girl who's also mega strong and is supposed to be a normal person.
Yeah.
An hour into the film, she's mega strong physically and mentally, and you're like, wait, it's okay for them to struggle. Like,
Totally.
it's okay. Like, it's not sexist.
No, it's all right to watch them. Yeah, it's
grow into their strengths.
Exactly. That's what's kind of good about Endgame. You see, like, Black Widow's like in tears at one point, right? Because she's like, the world is fucked and I can't do anything about it.
And it's the same. We talked about this again off the podcast about Hawkeye in Age of Ultron, and he's like, I'm just a guy with a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Like, he knows that he's not some superhuman.
He's the best part of that movie.
Yes.
Yeah. And because he's relatable and he's human.
He's just a guy.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked about Black Widow's character.
Yeah.
That's what, it's so cool to see her fighting with the Avengers, and you're like, but she's just a woman.
Yeah, but she's holding her own.
With a certain set of skills.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's why David Harbour's resonating, because he's like, because there's this former glory to him, and he's still putting on the suit.
He's overweight.
He's overweight, but he's real proud of himself.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like this.
It still fits.
It feels real human, you know?
It does, yeah. And I wanted to see that with Black Widow as well.
A bit of humanity, you know? But
I think actually, I know it was my idea, but I do actually think, now that I said it out loud, it's a thing of like, she can't look less than these other big male counterparts.
Totally. Like she can fall from the sky and everything, and it's like, you don't need to do that. You can make her cool in a more subdued way that doesn't feel subdued.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. It's what can you do?
What can you do?
So the next trailer, speaking of strong characters, No Time to Die, James Bond, it's going to feature another 007.
I like the look of this trailer.
Me too.
I don't like the idea of the double. Well, I like the idea of if I don't care female or not.
Totally.
A 007. I just don't like the idea of her taking it all, like taking the Bond franchise, because it's James Bond.
It's James
not
Bond.
007.
No.
Like, it's not the 007.
Yeah.
including James Bond.
I love that people have been like, it's so interesting when people are like, oh, there's this established thing where James Bond could be a different person, and it's like, it could be a different person who's taking over and assuming the role of James Bond, and I'm like, there have been so many movies that is just not the case.
No, that's not how it goes.
It has never been the case. He is the one person every time. He's just been recast as a different actor.
You know, Charlize Theron was asked about this.
Oh yeah,
and they're like, oh, do you think? Because I assume from the Atomic Blonde, where she kicks ass and looks like she could be a Jane Bond.
Yeah.
And they asked her about it, and she's like, no, they should just make up a new character.
Yeah.
Like that's not a James Bond. Like, she doesn't even mean like the James Bond universe. She's just like, no, we just write a new character.
Which is why I'm totally into this new character, the new 00, whatever, who's she being played by?
I don't know. Is it the...
It's your one from Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel, yes. Obviously, she's doing well for herself.
Maria Rambeau or something, but...
I'll get her name up.
Yeah, but yeah, I like this, and I hope in the next movie they don't try and jam down my throat that she's better than James Bond in some way.
You do get that impression a bit already.
I get that she's younger. That's fine. You can show someone who's younger, but and that can be different, but doesn't, like, I don't want to be told, like, better. They're officially, you know, she's better because she's younger, she's smarter, and she's a woman and everything.
Lashana Lynch,
yeah, she's cool. She was cool in Captain Marvel.
She looks badass in the James Bond trailer. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, she'd fuck you up,
dude. Fucking Daniel Craig, how old is he? 50 something?
He's 50 odd now.
55.
He's getting over the hill.
Man, he looks big.
He does,
badass.
but I do like that he's wearing it a bit. I'm just looking
Captain Marvel. Just type Captain Marvel again.
I meant to put in Daniel Craig.
Yeah,
he's looking weathered though, even though he's in good nick.
Yeah.
51,
man.
This is his definitive final
James Bond movie. And you know what? I'm upset, and at the same time I'm happy because I really like Daniel Craig. I think he's probably my favorite Bond.
He could be mine too, and I don't know if it's just because I grew, like, it's been like, what, 10 years? It's been over 10 years now. I'd say 12 years.
Yeah, 2007
around.
Yeah.
I'd say is when Casino Royale came out.
Yeah. And
I guess when I was a kid, Pierce Brosnan was James Bond.
Pierce Brosnan was my first James Bond, but Daniel Craig, seeing Casino Royale, I was like, man,
he was the first James Bond in my eyes that could rip someone's head off.
Totally.
I was just like, oh,
he's the first James.
He's a brute.
He's the first James Bond that can properly, like, fuck someone up, and they let you know that from the very beginning. Casino Royale, 2006.
2006.
Mm-hmm. Man, he's fucking great. It will be sad when he goes.
13 years he's been Bond.
I think he does a really good job as Bond, and I've seen all the James Bond films. My dad's a big fan.
Is he? Yeah.
I love there's parts of every James Bond that I really like. You know, Sean Connery's a classic. You can't beat him.
Oh yeah, and he can beat women.
George Lazenby is only there for one movie, but it's a really good movie.
Yeah, Roger Moore, for me, when I was a kid, his movies were constantly on television.
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, they had gone into syndication and all like that, and like the small Irish TV stations like RTE would just constantly have them on rotation.
Yeah.
Every Christmas there'd be like 5 Roger Moore James Bonds on, and as a kid I enjoyed them because you just see him running across crocodiles and shit
goofy,
like that.
And like I quite like the era because you see like cool weird gadgets and everything.
The gadgets, when I was a child, like the gadgets were cool. When he's in a swimming pool and he has like a little pen that's got unlimited oxygen. You know, you don't even question it as a kid. You're just like,
it's so cool. It's so funny that the movies would start with, okay, here's a list of very specific gadgets. At some stage in this movie, they will all come into play.
Yeah, I know.
and that was like telling you
Q, isn't it?
Q would come up, and he'd be like, these are all the gadgets you're gonna get. At some stage, these are gonna come into play.
Yeah.
But for now, this is them, and you use them whenever fits, James Bond, and it's like it's great. But I'm a big James Bond fan, and I'm going to miss Daniel Craig, but this movie looks really good, and I haven't seen Spectre because I'm so hyped. I love Casino Royale. Quantum Solace I think it gets a bad rap because there was a lot of problems around that movie.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit of a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
Now, I love Casino Royale so much, I think I took it personally. I was just a bit let down.
Casino Royale was the first time I saw Mads Mikkelsen, and ever since then, he's always been like, everything I see him in, I'm like, oh,
crying the blood.
I really liked him. One of my favorite lines is, he saves his life, And then he comes back to the table, and Mads Mikkelsen goes, "You've changed your shirt, Mr. Bond." And Daniel Craig looks at him, and he's fucking fuming. He's
Jeffrey Wright as well as Felix.
Jeffrey Wright. Before I knew his name, I remember seeing him in that movie, and I'm like, man, he really pops. I really like this guy.
Yeah, he's cool.
I haven't made that connection, and that's probably why I like him for Gordon as well, because he's kind of James Bond's Gordon as Felix.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Felix is the American CIA representative in all the James Bond movies. So, it was cool seeing him like that. But
this looks like a big movie.
It does. It looks like a big movie.
250 million.
That's a lot.
Spent on it.
And
so it's a big budget.
And what we always like, practical stunts.
It looks like that from what we've seen in that trailer. That bike stunt has me, it gave me a movie boner.
Salivating.
Yeah, I was just like, ooh, I like that.
And Daniel Craig, again, looks great in all his small suits. And
Rami Malek looks dangerous.
He's got all the hallmarks of a James Bond villain that is good. A strange accent, a physical deformity of some kind.
And weaker.
They
always have a lot of times they have a slighter guy.
Yeah, totally.
So he's not going to punch the head off him. Then again, Javier Bardem though was one of the first ones where I was like, oh, he looks like he could go.
I love Javier Bardem's character because he's so intimidating, but he does something that the James Bond villains have never really done, and he hits on James Bond and everything.
It's weird how he's dangerously campy.
Yeah.
It's such a weird cocktail.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he's somewhat flamboyant with this deep accent, but he's got these clothes that looks like he's going to Hawaii almost.
Yeah. And at the same time, he's big. He's imposing.
And then when he takes out that facial thing, whatever, that's holding his cheekbone up.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay.
The cyanide capsule. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah, it's just it's gonna be sad seeing him go, but I'm very excited as a big James Bond fan.
It looks fun.
Yeah. So we should move on to a movie we referenced earlier, Wonder Woman 1984. New Order song.
Yes.
Yeah, and it fits. It looks great.
It looks so fun.
If you follow us on Instagram, we tweeted out the posters. They look awesome.
Oh, the 1980s vibe.
Yeah.
They're really leaning into that quirkiness, and I'm all for it. I'm really all for it.
Yeah.
Gal Gadot, though, she really needs to get in shape, though. She looks like she's been slacking.
Wow,
she's been eating burgers.
Oh my God. I was saying this to Ian, but in the post we have putting up, it'll be on screen. If you're an audio listener, it's the one on her in the golden outfit. She looks beautiful. And she looks like a goddess. She looks like
Wonder Woman.
She looks like Wonder Woman, exactly.
She really does. She just it's a pity though that she's just obviously not been working out.
That she's not been working out, at all.
And Kristen Wiig, man,
I
get funky when I see her.
We were talking about this earlier, and we were like, "Oh man, I've always been attracted to Kristen Wiig," and then you were the same thing, and it was since Bridesmaids, but. Yeah, she looks great.
And I just love, she's one of these women that I just find instantly hilarious.
She's so funny.
She everything she says is just so funny.
She's really charming and funny, and she's very beautiful as well. And I don't think it gets
I find her just extremely likable in every area.
Yeah.
She just you ever when you watch someone get interviewed and you're like, I'd like that person. I could be around that person.
Totally. A lot of the SNL women are like that, like Amy Poehler and Tina Fey. I also like Tina Fey. We've talked about attracted to Tina Fey as well. Who else? There's one more. Oh, I can't think of her name. Fuck.
Leslie Jones. You're saying you have a big crush on Leslie Jones.
I don't think I'm saying that. I have been in the same bar as Leslie Jones, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. She was at the comedy club in New York. She came in and she was talking with the writer there.
You would see her.
Yeah. That was the thing. We noticed her. She was probably. I was texting my parents when I was in this comedy club. I've told you about this.
She's around 7 foot tall, I think.
Something
with
like
the
that.
hair.
Yeah, and she plays basketball as well. She's LeBron James in secret, really. But no, I was texting my parents and I was saying all these famous comedians that I would recognize. I was like Chris D'Elia, Colin Quinn, Andrew Schultz. And
Brian Callen was there as well.
Brian Callen, yeah, and I was Leslie Jones, and they were like, only recognize Leslie Jones, and I was like, okay, well, that's fair enough, I guess, but still. Yeah, but
we don't get to see Cheetah.
We don't get to see Cheetah, which I like, because that is probably the thing that will look the worst in the movie, I will say.
Well, here's
has
the
the
thing.
Potential to look the worst.
The film's done. Mm-hmm. Everything's done. Visual effects and all.
Yeah.
because this was pushed back. I think this was supposed to come out December.
Oh, really?
Like, it's supposed to be coming out now. And I say it was The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
That kind of gave DC the push, you know, and they're like, well, let's just move it.
Yeah.
So they moved it to the summer because maybe people be like, oh, why did you just not move it a month away? But they want it to be in a prime, like, blockbuster territory. So Christmas, the holiday season, that's not going to work out. So now it's coming out in summer, June 2020.
But yeah, I'm very excited. Pedro Pascal looks like a real douchebag, and I love it.
I absolutely love it.
Chris Pine looks like a man at a time with his fanny pack and everything.
The presidential hair on Pedro Pascal, look at him. He's so sleazy.
I know, but I like him at the same time.
I love to hate him.
Yeah.
Instantly, I'm like, oh, I'm going to hate this guy. I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm going to enjoy hating him. It's good. It's a good look.
Chris Pine being back, man.
Chris Pine,
He's got the fanny pack.
I know it's going to be contrived and it's going to be probably weird how they bring him back, but I'm happy he's in it.
I'm happy he's in it. I really hope it makes some sort of sense.
Me too.
Because I like him so much that I will bend for him. You know what I mean? Like, that sounds a bit weird, but you know what I mean? Like, if they make a half decent excuse for why he's coming back, I'm like, okay, I'll accept
it. Yeah.
So I just hope it's half decent.
Yeah, me too.
And if they really nail it, then I'll love it. If they really come up with a great reason for why he's still alive, I'll absolutely love it.
And I was saying this when we were watching the trailer, but Wonder Woman fights like a goddess, and it's so good to watch. And Chris Pine fights like a guy from the 40s. All he does, he throws haymakers, and it's what he does as Captain Kirk as well, which I love. Like, he doesn't have, he can't really
There's no nuance.
There's no nuance
to his movement.
He's just like pounding people and he's like doing I love watching it. And I think he
like
looks
William Shatner as well. Like, William Shatner is not like bobbing and weaving let's be strategic about it. He's just like, fucking take knuckle sandwich for you.
Maybe he'll flip someone, but that's about as acrobatic as it gets. Like, and I think he looks like a classic movie star, which I think is why it works when he's just out there like throwing rights and lefts and everything. It's just
like that he's older. Like, actually as an actor, he looks so cool. Yeah. Now, I don't know what... I think he's almost like he's getting really distinguished, and I don't know why it works for me. Like, I'm a male heterosexual, and I'm still like, oh, that guy looks fuckable.
Yeah, he does, and I can't wait to see him as Captain Kirk again.
Yeah,
which
sounds like it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
we got a director and everything.
So Wonder Woman 1984 looks great.
Best thing about this trailer for me is the music, though.
Yeah, music is beautiful.
You know what? I'd love to watch Batman vs Superman, the trailer for Batman vs Superman, and just look at how other end of the spectrum it is.
Yeah,
you know, they were going for the deep, dark Hans Zimmer with the strings, and even though I love what Hans Zimmer did with all that music for DC. And then you look at Wonder Woman and it's colourful and she's jumping through the sky. She's riding lightning.
But it has that hopeful and superhero element, but it also has the darkness, that kind of underlying like kind of unrest and unease and everything, but it still has the strings when it goes up like that. It's great trailer, and the posters look awesome. Everything about this movie looks great, and I love that all the lines are done in a W.
Yeah, no, it's really cool.
Free Guy is the last thing. Free Guy. Ryan Reynolds has said it is the movie he is most excited. He's most fun working on. It looks great.
It looks so fun. I think we've said that about every trailer now.
Yeah.
But this is like another level of just kookiness. It's just like, let's not give a shit.
Yeah, let's just do something fun. That's what this looks like.
And he kind of looks like he's Deadpool without the mask and the face. Yeah. He's Deadpool in like a 9 to 5
He reminds me
shirt.
He reminds me of Emmett from the Lego movie.
Actually, that's a very good comparison.
He's kind of like that, and
the happy-go-lucky, totally like blind to what's really going on,
unprepared to be a hero, but still really heroic.
Good hair.
I just like that. I think they've done a good job of making the video game world look like the CGI kind of doesn't look as good, but it looks like a video game, which is a great
excuse, isn't it? As well, because they probably don't have like the hugest budget either.
Yeah, totally.
It's Ryan Reynolds, but Sean Levy. He's usually mid-budget kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What was the one he did with Hugh Jackman? The Robots.
Real Steel.
Oh,
at the same time. No, very nice. So I'm very excited about that movie. I know we're rushing through this now, but Free Guy looks great. You should check out all the trailers that we've mentioned.
If you watch Free Guy, the trailer, you can really tell that it's got Ryan Reynolds, his touch all over it as well.
Even
his personality.
Even Mariah Carey being the song in the background. That's very Ryan Reynolds. And
I have no idea what the end goal is for the character in this.
No, me neither.
Because if anyone has seen it, like the general synopsis is he's a background video game character who discovers he's a background video game character, and then he just starts breaking the mold.
Yeah.
And I don't know like what is the end goal? You know, like with Tron, they try to get out of Tron into the real world. I have no clue. They don't really give you an indication. He just fights a lot.
He just fights a lot of people, and he looks like he's having fun and kind of happy-go-lucky thing. I don't know. It's a very exciting. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, and Sean Levy lately he's been doing Stranger Things. Mm-hmm. He's the other director.
Yeah, so that's. It's all looking good basically for this movie. So we're gonna quickly move on. I'm just gonna quickly on to news. I'm just gonna name some things really quickly, and we'll get quick thoughts on them. Peter Skarsgård looks like he's being cast as Two-Face.
Awesome, love it.
Adds again to a stellar cast. We also saw, I can't remember the actress's name, but she looks like she's probably playing Barbara Gordon in the new movie.
Oh yes, she's like the newcomer that hasn't been in anything.
She's straight out of something, straight out of like
Juilliard. Like the acting school.
Yeah, so it looks like she might be Barbara Gordon as well. Both those things are really cool. Mm-hmm. Kill Bill 3 looks like it might be happening.
It might happen. So Tarantino said that he was recently talking to Uma Thurman, and they've been throwing around ideas. Yeah. Now he nearly killed Uma Thurman in the last Kill Bill.
So it's amazing that they're talking.
So it's good. It's good to hear.
But I love the Kill Bill movies.
I'd love to see a third one.
Me too.
And I hope it's the daughter.
Yeah, that'd be great. You know
that scene where she's like, if you have a problem with this in a few years, you can come talk to me.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing, but it's something along those lines.
Totally.
I'd love to see that.
Me too. And he considers Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2 one movie.
One movie, yeah.
So it's cool that he wants to do Kill Bill 3, but really it's just the sequel.
Yeah.
Code 8 is out as we film today.
It's out, yes. Because we covered this 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can't wait to see it.
Yeah, we're going to watch it hopefully for next week because, well, there's a lot of movies to watch for next week by the sounds of things, but we'll do our best.
But you should check out the last episode because we gave a really cool backstory. But here we should say about Code 8 as well.
Yeah.
It's now going to be in this a TV series.
Yeah, Quibi streaming service.
Quibi comes out in April next year, and it's its own thing.
It does 10-minute blocks of like TV series and everything.
And these are made for the mobile platform.
Yeah.
This is for mobile watching.
Totally. Steven Spielberg's doing a series that you can only watch at night.
A horror series that you can only watch at night.
So it sounds like there's a lot of cool things happening.
Zac Efron has his own survival series with his brother.
Kill the Efrons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are going to be like, it says from 7 to 10 minute episodes.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, but Code 8 now is going to have its own spin-off. So, that's exciting.
And both Amels are going to be in it.
Yeah, Robbie Amell and Stephen Amell is going to be in it. So, spoiler alert, I guess their characters survive.
Or maybe they don't. We'll find out when we watch it. Yeah. Matrix 4 and John Wick 4 are coming out the same day. I
hate this. Because it's not going to happen. Someone's going to move.
I know.
And it's going to be John Wick.
Oh.
You know that? It's going to be John Wick. Like, loads of people have been saying, it's going to be Keanu Reeves Day. I see someone tweet saying, release Bill and Ted 3 on the same day. Make it Keanu Reeves Day officially. But here's the thing. This is strong arming.
Yeah.
This is Warner Brothers saying, do you know what? That date's been working for John Wick.
Mm-hmm.
So we want that date
we want it for Matrix.
For Matrix 4.
Which is shitty.
So literally, I'm telling you now, Warner Brothers are going to win that fight. It's the Matrix. It's a much bigger franchise. It just is. Like, it's made way more money than John Wick.
Yeah.
John Wick is like a slow builder. It's not a huge franchise. It's just massively popular.
It's a modern franchise, though. That's the thing.
It is, and that's it's interesting because the Matrix 4 could bomb.
Totally.
But if I was Lionsgate, I'd be moving.
Yeah.
They're gonna. Who's gonna win that tug of war? It's most likely gonna be Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Like.
Crisis on Infinite Earths is happening in the Arrowverse at the moment. The first 3 parts are out.
Yes.
Trash. But, you know, it's
CW.
It's CW.
It's on par with all their other trash.
All their other trash, yeah.
So if you like Arrow, if you like Flash, if you like Supergirl, if you like Legends of Tomorrow, hey, this is made for you.
Yeah.
Tailor-made.
There's some cool cameos in it.
Very cool cameos. I did enjoy Can I give one away?
Yes, of course.
Burt Ward.
The
original 1960s.
Jiminy Jillikers. I love it. Robin, yeah.
Love it. I wonder if Adam West would have done it. I'd like to
he
think.
totally would. Yeah, he would. I'd love to if they tried to recruit Adam West, and he's like, "I'm a Batman who dances."
They're like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Yeah, and Kevin Conroy and Brandon Routh are Batman and Superman in it.
Brandon Routh.
Holy fuck. Looks huge, built like a brick shithouse.
Huge indeed.
Tom Welling
is
back.
It doesn't look padded. That looks real.
It looks real because he wears the Clark Kent thing.
Yeah.
And then he goes into the Superman thing and you're like, it's just the same.
But what's crazy is he's massive and he's got a six-pack.
Yeah.
And you can clearly see that six-pack.
Yeah.
Like, that's obviously hard to do.
Totally.
To be so big.
Yeah. Is it bad that I just want to see him shirtless now? Because I want to see...
Yeah, because I want it fully confirmed that that's his body.
Yeah, me too.
Because, in Shazam, Zachary Levi, this is actually a good segue as well. Levi.
Yeah.
He's admitted that it was a bit padded.
Yeah, but he still looked great.
We've seen him shirtless working out and all like that. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Stud.
Yeah, stud muffin.
But Brandon Routh.
Yeah. Looks great.
Humongous.
He is.
Dwarfs the other Superman, by the way.
Yeah, the other Superman who's already a big guy.
The other Superman just looks like a normal dude.
Yeah, which is crazy.
When he's on his own, he looks like Superman. And then when Brandon Routh comes in, he just looks like Danny DeVito next to Arnold Schwarzenegger in Twins.
Totally. It's like, oh, there's Superman.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, there's Superman. Sorry.
Did I tell you could talk?
I mistook you for Superman, but actually that's Superman,
he's Superman
right there. Yeah. And
I'm Superboy. He's Superman.
Exactly. And the salt and pepper in the hair, looks great.
Love
it. To go with the Shazam thing, Shazam gets a release date in 2022.
Yes.
So did the Flash. Got a release date.
Got a release date for 2022 as well.
2022, so that's exciting.
Flash is July 1st, 2022. And Shazam is April 1st, 2022.
2022, so...
I have a question for you, though.
Yes.
Do you think the Flash is going to happen?
No.
No?
No, I don't think so.
Do you know why Warner Brothers... Like, Warner Brothers is in its own way.
I know.
Because of Fantastic Beasts. So they have two big franchises with Ezra Miller attached to them. So they're literally like, well, we're going to run with Harry Potter first. Yeah. So every time they go, we'll make the Flash, they're like, oh, well, no.
Well, we need him for the other 5 Fantastic Beasts movies.
They want to make 5 altogether. Like, that's crazy.
It's too many, especially considering the reception of the last one. Obviously, that's why the franchise is taking a hiatus.
They said that, which is good. That's good to hear that they're working on it.
Yeah.
But I hate when the first movie was coming out. It wasn't even out yet. They're like, we're making 5 movies. I don't like when someone does that. You know
hate all that shit.
It's exactly what Sony does.
Yeah. It's like, this is going to be our new franchise. It's like, just fucking release the movie.
Release one good movie first.
Release one good movie, full character arcs in the one movie, and then we can talk about a franchise.
The beauty of Joker.
Exactly. And that's kind of all the news. So we're going to quickly do Hunk and Skunk. Hunk, we said, was Al Pacino.
Al Pacino for being so beautifully good.
We wouldn't dare not give it to him.
He's 79. Yeah. So when he was filming this, he was around 77.
He was the oldest on set, right?
He was the oldest on set.
Yeah.
My God, he hasn't missed a beat. Just like Marty Scorsese.
And he looks younger as well.
He does
looks
younger.
really young.
Yeah. He looks well.
Skunk
is for a bit of news we never even went to.
Fuck, yeah.
Pedro Pascal. We just found out that in episode 4... directed by
Bryce
The Mandalorian.
Mandalorian
episode 4, directed by Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah.
She didn't even work with Pedro Pascal. He wasn't in the suit.
Truly terrible.
He wasn't in the suit, guys.
Yeah.
It broke my heart. It actually broke my heart. I was like, that's kind of cool show where, sure, in the fight scenes, it's a stunt double, but every other scene, it's got to be Pedro.
Yeah. Nope.
I thought, especially for the whole recognizing the movement, like he's going to have a certain walk. Yeah, instead it was James Dean's grandson.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool, but for fuck's sake, Pedro, you need to get back in that suit.
Get yourself on set, Pedro.
Yeah, so you're skunk.
You're skunk this week. We're upset with you.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the show.
You're going to hear about this.
You are going to hear about this. You will. You'll hear from my people.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the show then.
I'm your people.
Yeah. You're going to hear from me.
Yeah, you're going to hear from me.
Hear from me because I don't know how to work email. So that's our show.
Yes.
Please like, subscribe, check us out on Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff.
And go watch all those trailers.
We're
excited about pretty much everyone.
Yeah, this is a very positive episode of Straight to Series.
It's weird. I don't like it.
Weird. I don't like it either. Well, next week we're doing a year in review and possibly a review for Rise of Skywalker. So it could be a very negative episode next week. Hopefully it's a very positive one though.
We'll see.
So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.